2024, from January to August, there were 414 attempts to censor books throughout American libraries. A total of 1,128 books were challenged. Among them, Looking for Alaska by John Green, banned for risky teen behaviors, sexual content, and language. 19 Minutes by New Hampshire's own Jodi Picoult was banned in a Texas school district last year because it supports or promotes gender fluidity. Lastly, A Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, a widely banned book across the nation, was described by PEN America as taking place in, quote, an authoritarian society where people are not permitted to read. Isn't that ironic? The examples I just shared with you are few of the many, many books challenged each and every day. It is frightening to think that this has become our truth. The Handmaid's Tale, published in 1985, while originally written as fiction, may soon become our reality if this level of censorship continues. Imagine an education in which topics such as racism, homophobia, and government upset were eradicated. This jarring possibility could greatly harm the education of future generations, yet it is a truth that we face today. To better understand the disadvantage that book banning puts us at as a society, we're going to play a little game. I want you all to think of your favorite book. Got it? Awesome. Now think of its contents. In your favorite book, are there any characters of color, any queer characters? Is there any talk of overthrowing the government, or any provocative scenes, any swearing? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then chances are that your favorite book is very likely on a list of titles that is challenged and banned every single day. Does this sound beneficial to creating a well-educated society? Banning books by authors whose stories voice struggles that many cannot express does not build relationships. Does it instill values in future generations that will help them to become empathetic members of society? Or does it teach the children of tomorrow that their voice is insignificant within literature and doesn't have a place? How are we supposed to educate properly if these harsh topics that people face daily, are removed from our books? Erasing history from shelves does not erase its existence, and without the tales that remind us of the darker parts of our past, how will we move forward? The next question asked by the Rotary Four-Way test, is this fair to all concerned? Is it fair that the authors that dare to venture into profound themes and share their deeply personal messages have their stories removed from shelves because their journeys are not what society deems as honorary or exemplary? I Am Jazz by Jazz Jennings is a children's book about a transgender girl named Jazz and her struggles with bullying and injustice. Frequently banned from school libraries for its portrayal of a transgender child. The issue of book banning has now gone from extreme censorship to blatant transphobia. If we suppress the stories of experiences like that of Jazz Jennings, how will others feel about sharing their own? Which ties perfectly into the next question of the Rotary Four-Way test. Does it build goodwill and better friendships? Friendships are harbored by sharing experiences and telling stories about yourself. If stories like the one of Jazz Jennings or Alaska Young are censored and unable to be told, educating future generations about the struggles that occurred in our time will be made near impossible. Learning about ideals and perspectives different from our own is what builds goodwill and better friendships among society. And without those stories, that goodwill is lost, and the world is right back to where it was before these books were created. The extreme rate at which books are being banned in this country will not build goodwill, but it will destroy it. Now, we're going to circle back to the game we played earlier. Think of your favorite book again, and now think of a world where you cannot share that book with others. A world where you don't even get to read that book at all because it was erased from shelves, because a small portion of society believes that the topics contained in that book were shameful or inappropriate. Regardless of who you are, you can agree that it is not fair for your voice to be stifled as these characters are. Books that recount the experiences of people are like windows into their soul. They are small glimpses of humanity seen through many different lenses. And let me ask you this: who are we to fog the glass? Thank you.